are 3 terrible pieces of writing advice and how to avoid them. Hi, I'm Jennifer Gregson, a tarot book coach and young adult author who helps writers get through that muddy middle so that they can type the end all with a smile on their face. The number one worst thing I hear is write every day. I've heard this for years in all kinds of places. And I will tell you, for me, it did not work. All it did was cause me to burn out so that I didn't write for weeks or months at a time because I was exhausted. Personally, I think it's better if you look at your schedule either at a month or a week at a time and see where you have pockets of space and when you have the most energy during your day. I think it's better that you write 1 to 3 times a week and be consistent than to write every day and burn out. So, what I would do is I would ask yourself, when do you have the most energy and where can you schedule those times during your week or your month so that you can write? Personally, I wouldn't follow this advice. I would do what works for you and your life. The second piece, I always hear that just start. So in the writing world, there are usually plotters and there are pantsers. The plotters are the ones that have the very, very, very detailed outlines, pages and pages and pages long. And there's the pantsers that just go by the seat of their pants and they just start. And both camps believe they are right, that they have the right way. And maybe for them, they do. But I personally like to have the middle ground, which doesn't necessarily have a name, although I have heard it be called a plotzer. Not sure I love that. But for me, what it is what kind of information do I need to have so that I feel confident writing, but that allows me some creative freedom during the writing process. I believe this is going to be different for everybody, so you need to play around and experiment as you go through your process of writing your book. But to start, I think you need to have your beginning and your end, and then a few scenes in the middle that you can like tie together. That works for me, but that may not work for you. But again, just start doesn't help anybody. The only other advice I will give that goes along with this one is, besides those sort of juicy scenes that I think you really need to sort of have mapped out, I think you also need to know who your characters are. So once you have those 2 things, go ahead and start. If you need to stop at some point and rework your outline, that's perfectly fine. And number 3, which I believe is the absolute worst advice I've ever heard, is edit as you go. Please don't. I have seen this stop writers from finishing their first draft too many times. They start obsessing over that first chapter or that beginning or that middle where you feel like you're just not doing everything right. So you just rewrite things over and over again, and you never finish your story. Yes, fixing the occasional typo, or you're like almost to the end, you're like, oh, this ties so much better, and you go back while you're writing that one particular chapter or scene and you fix something at the beginning, is not exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you are so stuck and you get obsessed with making the first, let's say, 3 chapters the perfect chapters before you can move on. Or you get into that middle icky section and you think, well, I'll just work from here and get all of this perfect and then the ending will come. And I have seen that never work. It never works. What you do is you just spin your wheels and you never get to the end. So my advice for this is, if you really feel like you have some great ideas for when you do revise, put that in your document. Whatever program you use at the end of your chapter or the end of that section, write notes for revision and go ahead and write them down. Get them out of your head. If you don't want to put them there, put them in a writing journal or a notebook, somewhere that you can find those later and you know, okay, I have my notes, I have my ideas. What I think you need to do is look at where you are and where you want to go and just start from here and finish to get to your ending. If you get stuck just rewriting and reworking and retooling, you're never going to get the book finished. And if you are stuck in that icky, muddy middle, then stick around because next week's video, I'm going to tell you exactly how to get unstuck. So be sure you're subscribed to my channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss next week's video. I will be doing new videos every week this summer, so come and enjoy. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below.